गुड मॉर्निंग डैलस, गुड इवनिंग इंडिया, गुड इवनिंग हमारा बैंगलोर बोलते हुए आज सबको आपका दोस्त, आपका होस्ट, आपका आरजे राजीव कुलकर्णी का प्यार भरा नमस्कार। भारत अन्वेषण में आपको सबको स्वागत करते हुए आज का दिन है दिसंबर 10th 2023। हाँ जी, दिसंबर 10वीं तारीख है। ऑलरेडी वी आर जस्ट 21 डेज शाई ऑफ 2023 ख़त्म होने में। उसके बाद नए साल में कदम रखेंगे, लेकिन उसके पहले दो तीन ऐसे धमाकेदार जो कार्यक्रम है हमने लाइनअप किया हुआ है। डेफिनेटली आप बनते रहिए हमारे साथ भारत अन्वेषण में। आज हमारे बीच में एक स्पेशल गेस्ट है जो ऑलरेडी आपको पता है कौन है, क्योंकि हम हमेशा उन गेस्ट के बारे में पोस्टर पे भी उनके डिटेल देते हैं, एज वेल एज वी गिव देयर डिटेल्स इन आवर यूट्यूब लिंक। चलिए, ज़्यादा वक्त आपका नहीं लेते हुए आज का ये कार्यक्रम शुरू करते हैं। लेकिन हर इतवार को कार्यक्रम शुरू करने के पहले हम भगवान को याद करते हैं। हाँ जी, आज भी भगवान को याद करते हुए आप सबको स्वागत करता हूँ आपका दोस्त राजीव कुलकर्णी भारत अन्वेषण कार्यक्रम में फिर एक बार नमस्ते।
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि।
गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानान्तरात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानमत्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुकुलस्थायिने गुरुविक्रमाय गुह्यप्रवराय गुरवे गुणगुरवे गुरुदैत्यकलक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्म सदाराध्याय गुरुपुत्र परित्रात्रे गुरुपाखण्ड खण्डकाय गीतसाराय गीततत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गूढगुल्फाय गन्धमत्ताय गोजयप्रदाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय धीमन्तकाय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि
नमस्कार सबको, भारत अन्वेषण कार्यक्रम में स्वागत करता हुआ आपका दोस्त राजीव कुलकर्णी फिर एक बार इस संडे को एक स्पेशल गेस्ट को लेके आ रहे हैं। और वो कौन है, वो क्या करते हैं, ये स्वयं एनालिटिक्स क्या है, लेट्स हैव ए लुक एट इट। नमस्कार सभी लोगों को। अभी अभी अगर आपने लॉग इन किया है भारत अन्वेषण में, आज हमारे बीच एक स्पेशल गेस्ट है। ऑलरेडी मैंने दो अभी वीडियो क्लिपिंग्स जो मैंने प्ले किया है, आई थिंक यू शुड हैव ऑलरेडी गॉट सम आइडिया कि ये कौन है। हाँ जी, शी इज़ द फाउंडर ऑफ स्वयं एनालिटिक्स एंड विच डील्स एंड एंगेजेस इन managing different types of academic as well as career based जो थ्रू वैदिक साइकोलॉजी। हाँ जी, वो एक नॉर्मल साइकोलॉजी हमने सुना है, बट वैदिक साइकोलॉजी कुछ नया चीज़ है जो आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे डॉक्टर शिल्पा दातार के साथ। हाँ जी, गुड इवनिंग डॉक्टर शिल्पा दातार एंड वेलकम टू भारत अन्वेषण। थैंक यू सो वेरी मच फॉर गिविंग अस द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू हैव इट one-to-one talk with you and understanding what is Vedic psychology. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rajiv ji. And thank you for this opportunity to come and talk to you today. I really, I'm really heartened by it.
It's our pleasure, ma'am, always, because we felt, that as I mentioned before just introducing you, that normal psychology, I mean, about psychology we have heard, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, what is this Vedic psychology? That is what caught my eyes, and then I thought, I think our people should know this and how it is helping the present generation who are present people in for their whether it's academically it is helping them, or whether it is helping in terms of professionally on their career. So all those things definitely we will be discussing. Just before that, I want to thank all the viewers and also the supporters for this our show, क्योंकि आपके अगर सपोर्ट नहीं है तो ये चैनल चलाना बहुत ही मुश्किल होता है. And also of course viewers, definitely we would like you to come and support by watching this show, because उनको गेस्ट को भी थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है कि भाई इतने व्यूअर्स है, इतने सब्सक्राइबर्स है, तो it makes a huge difference on the guest, because they bring with some unique information, some unique ideas, some unique art, or what we call different places. So that is the whole idea of Bharat Anveshan. We want to explore those things on this platform so that it can reach out globally to all of you, and you can make best use of those information. चलिए, वो सबसे पहले तो आपको थैंक यू. देन सेकंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थैंक यू इज डेफिनेटली संदीप सदानंदप्पा, जो हमारे जो टेक्निकली ही इज अ बैकबोन फॉर आवर चैनल. हमारा कन्नड़ा वाणी भी चैनल चलता है जो कन्नड़ा में हम चलाते हैं, उसके लिए भी उनका सपोर्ट रहता है. भारत अन्वेषण में भी सपोर्ट रहता है. आज लेकिन उनका काम थोड़ा मैं ही कर रहा हूँ, बिकॉज ही इज़ बिजी इन सम अदर वर्क, विच इज़ फाइन. बट इफ़ यू हैव एनी नीड ऑफ ऑडियो एंड विजुअल requirement in Bangalore, definitely make use of A&V perspective, that is संदीप सदानंदप्पा. अगर उनका कांटेक्ट चाहिए तो डेफिनेटली भारत अन्वेषण में आप कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. और हाल ही में हमने ये भी एक नया इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, जो बर्थडेज एंड एनिवर्सरी जो हम लोग विश करते हैं. हाँ जी, आज हम लोग विश कर रहे हैं, हमारे जो एसोसिएट है पूर्वी मिश्रा जी का एनिवर्सरी है. पूर्वी एंड प्रशांत, दे आर सेलिब्रेटिंग देयर वेडिंग एनिवर्सरी, एंड वी वांट टू कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट देम फ्रॉम भारत अन्वेषण एंड टीम. Very, very happy anniversary, and God bless you with lot of happiness and good health always. चलिए, आज हमारा ये कार्यक्रम अभी शुरू करते हैं. हमारे साथ है डॉक्टर शिल्पा दातार. How are you, ma'am, today?
All well. Thank you so much, sir. I'm doing well. I hope you're also doing well today.
Yes, perfectly fine. This is a Sunday morning, 9:42 a.m. right now in Dallas. So, and of course, it is a little chilly weather, and the winter has begun. So, no complaint about that. Yes, I'm doing perfectly fine, and I'm very happy to have you on the show and discuss about this Vedic psychology, which will definitely enlighten me as well about this particular technique. But सबसे पहले, we want to know about you. Originally, you're from what place, and the journey of your young to as of now, whatever you have been doing. तो थोड़ा सा हमारे दर्शकों को बताएंगे, so that will be very nice.
Sure. I'm a Bangalorean. I was born and brought up over here. South
Very
Bangalore,
nice.
Jayanagar, I mean, I was born and brought up in Jayanagar, 4th Street.
Very
Club.
nice.
Yeah. And then I got married very early. In fact, when I was in my second year BA, I got married. And I moved to North Bangalore. In fact, 15 days after my marriage, I wrote my second year BA exams.
How was that experience after the marriage, writing an exam?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was writing, but since I was very interested in psychology. My BA was in psychology, journalism, and English literature. So then all three subjects were very interesting for me. And so I just went and I wrote it, and I cleared everything at one go. It was such a relief. Otherwise, I would have cut a sorry figure in my matrimonial home. So, but by the grace of God, I cleared everything. And just before I was supposed to answer my final year BA exams, my son was born. So I had to sit in the supplementary exams and then finish it.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure.
And then I took a break because I had my daughter a couple of years later. And then in 97, 98, I started feeling the urge to work. And then I started working with special needs children. And that's where my journey started. I started working with special needs children, doing assessments for them. There's a special needs school in Bangalore, which I was familiar with. So I started going there, started working with the students there. And that's when I realized that all the tests that they were using were all foreign tests, developed in the US and UK. And, the minute you import any test into a different country, you have to standardize them. Correct. Otherwise, you can't make meaning out of it. So there were very poor adaptations, and as adults, as administrators, we couldn't understand what the questions were asking. And then, of course, the children were about 10, 11, 12-year-old children, fifth, sixth standard, maybe seventh standard also. They were not
Hmm.
able to understand the questions, and very unfairly we were categorizing them as being learning disabled, dyslexic, that this global learning disability, slow learners.
Hmm.
And then they were pushed into special needs schools from mainstream schools. And then I realized that that was a huge disadvantage, and these children were suffering, because learning disability doesn't mean that they can't learn. It just means that they have a different way of learning, which we are not used to teaching them. So the
Okay.
onus of responsibility is on us, not on them, to teach them the
Hmm.
way they are able to learn. So that's where my journey started. And then I went on to do my master's and then PhD. And then about 10 years ago, my husband passed away.
Oh,
um,
sorry to hear
yeah,
that.
yeah, he had a heart attack and he passed away. And then 2 years ago, my son got married. This year my daughter got married. So quite relieved of all my worldly duties, responsibilities as of now. So I'm enjoying my life right now.
That
Yeah,
is good to know that you moved on with all these challenges that you had, and
yeah,
took care of your kids, and they're all I think well settled, and now you are focusing on what you wanted to do
yeah.
in your career, in your life. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now tell
Thank you.
me, to our viewers, that what is the difference between the normal psychology and the Vedic psychology?
So when we say normal psychology, we mean psychology from the West, predominantly from US and UK.
Okay.
So like Jung and Freud and all that, it started from there, from Germany and everywhere, Europe
Sure.
and all that. And that's the psychology that has predominantly followed the world over. It's only recently in the last 10, 15, I think about 20 years or so, that people have started realizing that that is not the only psychology in the world, because each country have their own indigenous psychologies. Like China has their own way of thinking about dealing
Correct.
with
Correct.
psychology. India has its own way, and that is what I have specialized in. um, because the native people, if you look at like 50, 100 years ago, our parents also, our forefathers, I mean, they had a way of dealing with us, and it
Hmm.
worked at
Correct.
that time. They were able to handle us, their children, give them a good quality of life, whatever was available at that point of time, and make them good, sustainable, independent, contributing people in society. And the same, I think, goes for every country in the world. We all have grown up with thoughts, the local cultures and traditions, which make us who we are and make us distinct from each other. In India, what has happened is we have the darshanas, the philosophies. You have Vedanta. You have so many, the Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita. So many schools of thought are there. There are the Shak darshanas. There are 6 philosophies that India has given birth to. And there's a lot of psychology that is enshrined in them.
Hmm.
What do you mean by manas? How does a man with certain dominant traits or personalities, how does he behave? If you look at Bhagavad Gita, it is considered to be the first text of psychology, not only in India but world over.
Oh.
Because the way Sri Krishna talks to Arjuna about, how does a man with Satvika Manobhava behave? How does a man with Rajasika Manobhava behave? And what are their traits? How do they interact in society? What is more dominant in their? So those are also very classical and very beautiful. You
Hmm.
don't have to look at Bhagavad Gita as a religious text. In fact, there's
Correct.
nothing
Correct.
religious about it at all.
Yeah.
It's more spiritual, and it's more about how you understand people and what you should be doing, what is your responsibility as a human being, and so on and so on, which is very universal if you look at it. And now you have so many we have this school of thought that has come, taking the concepts from the Vedic, from the Indian philosophical texts, importing them into the domain of psychology, is Indian psychology. And we also call it as Vedic psychology because it's come to
Vedic.
us from the Vedic knowledge system. And then you
Correct.
have Buddhist psychology, you have Jaina psychology also. But I don't know
Wow.
much about them. I have studied Hindu and Vedic psychology predominantly.
Correct, correct. So,
So that is the
how
difference.
that is okay, that's fantastic, very well explained. And
Thank you.
दर्शकों को बताऊं कि आज हमारे बीच जो है डॉक्टर शिल्पा दाता जी जो है, शी इज़ द फाउंडर ऑफ an organization called Swayam Analytics, which deals with the Vedic psychology in assessing the students या younger students to मतलब college students as well, for their academic purpose, and also assessing the youth or the people who are engaged in their employment activities. So coming back to this Vedic psychology, ma'am, how does it really how you are implementing Vedic psychology in academic activities?
Yeah.
I mean, are there
So
like special techniques involved, or is that something people have to by heart and do, in certain way, or, what does it include or what does it involve?
yeah. So just because it's Vedic, it doesn't mean that anybody has to learn about the Vedas or anything. No, that's not necessary
Okay.
at all. In fact,
Okay.
what I've done is imported all these concepts into the domain of psychology.
Okay.
And then, developed psychometric tests based on these concepts. And it went through a board of scholars to ensure that it is valid, because who am I to say that this is what is there in the classical texts? So I had, pundits and specialized people from the different schools of thought like Ayurveda, yoga, and then philosophy, Sanskrita, psychology, of course. All of them had to validate that what I'm saying is what I mean when I say in English is correct and it is as per the classical texts. So that's how I established the validity, and it's all in English.
Oh,
The entire thing, and no Sanskrit words anywhere. It's very simple kind of questions like what kind of sleep, how much sleep do you need per night, what kind of food you like to eat, what kind of games you like to play. So those kind of those are the some of the kinds of questions that we have developed. And then I established the reliability and all that. And because of the stringent norms that the way we adopted the test, this was my PhD work at Mysore University.
wow.
I studied in Regional Institute of Education, Mysore, which is NCRT, under Mysore University. And that's where I got my PhD from. And then I have published 17 plus paper publications in international journals like SAGE and AYU and all. And because of it was very well established, the tests are being used for research in multiple countries, in India, in US, in Germany. They're using our tests for research. So which was a huge, feather in my cap. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because on the other side, contrary, some people, they try to adapt, the psychology from the Western countries that you mentioned.
Correct.
And then now, if the countries on the Western side, if they are trying to, adapt and follow the skills that you are providing, that's amazing. That's absolutely
Thank you.
excellent
Because
contribution. Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much. And I'm told that it's a seminal contribution to the area of Indian psychology, because what I essentially have done is to assess people on the physiological, psychological, and ethical aspects of behavior. So these Panchamahabhutas, when they combine with each other at the physiological level, they
Sure.
form the Tridoshas of Vata, Pitta,
Yeah.
and Kapha, and which is purely Ayurvedic, which is based on Sankhyan philosophy and all that. So this is the physiological aspect. And then the same Panchamahabhutas combine with each other at the psychological level and form the Trigunas of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Like I mentioned, like what Sri Krishna talks to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads talk about it, Puranas talk about it. In fact, Bhagavata Purana has so much of information on it.
Absolutely true.
Huh.
Absolutely
And
true.
I was statistically able to collect data and all that, and statistically able to prove that the Tridoshas and Trigunas are constantly interacting with each other, intercorrelating with each other, and which is why we are who we are. So even if, you have twins, both of them are very different personalities.
Yeah,
even
that
though
is
they're
true.
born from the same mother, from the same womb at the same time, conceived at the same time. They have very different personalities, and that's because of these Panchamahabhutas, the five primordial elements: Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Up, and Prithvi, because of their combination. So that is what, and based on that, we assess a person based on their physiological, psychological, the tridoshas and trigunas. And then based on that, we tell them what is the kind of personality they have, what are their traits, what are their weaknesses, how they can overcome their weaknesses, and what kind of professions they should follow, which will make them very successful, because all of us are born with certain traits. We are
Hmm.
born with certain special qualities in us, and if we are
Sure.
able to identify those special qualities early on in life, it helps you to obviously, if I was if I was told when I was 11 or 12 or 15, 16 years of age that I would make an excellent psychologist, then probably I would have studied even more at that age, and understood what I need to do, and perhaps been much more ahead than what I am today. Correct? So in the
Correct,
same
correct.
way,
Yeah.
I think if children, students are given that information as to what is it that they're really good at, what is it that they have a natural inclination for,
Hmm.
they get a very clear cut idea, and Pantara, it gives them that focus, that okay,
Absolutely
this is
true.
what I'm good for. I should work on this, build on this, so that I can be more successful. And that's the principle we are using at Swayam. So we
So,
identify their strengths and then tell them what they will do well, so that they can go ahead and be successful at their careers.
so I mean, identifying, the strength and other things are good, but do they have to follow any particular techniques in order to adopt this?
No, because it's all in English. They answer the
Okay.
test. It's a 15-minute or 17-minute, multiple choice questionnaire.
Okay.
And then the questions are available in English, Kannada, and Hindi.
In
Kannada, of
Hindi.
course, because I'm a Kannadika, and Hindi because
Okay.
it's, sort of uh,
So
it's
widely
a language
spoken
that,
language. Yeah.
yeah, quite widely spoken language. And English, of course, it's an international language. So
Correct.
it's available in all three. So you answer the test in simple English. You get your report in simple English, which you can understand. And then you can follow the instructions that we have given, and then you're done with it. You don't need any tech, because if you look at the Western models also, they just give you a test, you answer the test, you get a report, and then you go ahead and you follow them. So though the tests at Swayam are based on Vedic knowledge system, you don't need to have any special extra techniques or anything like that to understand them. It's just the normal thing.
Correct.
So we'll give you certain videos that you can watch on YouTube to overcome your weaknesses, or podcasts that you can listen to, or even papers and books that you can read, and it's all available free on the web. So you can just read that to help you overcome them. So of course it's going to take 6 8 months or a year. So we recommend that before they go for their placement, or your interview or something, at least a year and a half before, if you have taken the Swayam test, then you have a better chance of understanding who you are, knowing who you are as a person, and strategizing. Okay, these are my strengths, these are my weakness. I need to play down my weakness, enhance my strengths, or try to overcome my weakness, so that I can get into this company or this kind of a job, or something else maybe also. So
Okay.
no special techniques needed.
So, yeah, that's very well explained, and we will come back with the more questions about how what kind of schools have been accepting these techniques or this Vedic psychology system that you have adapted, and how it is helping the kids, and also we'll talk about the corporate life on that. But let's have a quick break and come back.
Sure. Sure.
बीता जाए।
आज होने आए बालमा, सावन बीता जाए, हाय रे सावन बीता जाए।
आज होना है बालमा, सावन बीता जाए, हाय रे सावन बीता जाए। नींद भी अखियन द्वार नाए, नींद भी अखियन द्वार नाए, तो से मिलन की आस भी जाए।
नींद भी अखियन द्वार नाए, तो से मिलन की आस भी जाए।
आए बहार खिले फुलवा,
आए बहार खिले फुलवा,
आए बहार खिले फुलवा, मोरे सपने कौन सजाए।
आज होने आए बालमा, सावन बीता जाए, हाय रे सावन बीता जाए।
आज हुनाए बालमा, सावन बीता जाए, हाय रे सावन बीता जाए। चांद को बदरा गरबा लगाए, चांद को बदरा गरबा लगाए, और भी मोरा मन ललचाए।
चांद को बदरा गरबा लगाए, और भी मोरा मन ललचाए।
यार हसीन गले लग जा,
यार हसीन गले लग जा,
यार हसीन गले लग जा, मोरी उम्र गुजरती जाए।
आज होने आए बालमा, सावन बीता जाए रे सावन बीता जाए।
आज हुनाए बालमा, सावन बीता जाए, हाय रे सावन बीता जाए।
हाय रे सावन बीता जाए, हाय रे सावन बीता
चांद को बदरा गरबा लगाए, चांद को बदरा गरबा लगाए, और भी मोरा मन ललचाए।
चांद को बदरा गरबा
मोरी उम्र गुजरती जाए
आज हलाए बाल मार सावन बीता जाए रे सावन बीता जाए
आज हुनाए बाल माँ सावन बीता जाए हाय रे सावन बीता जाए
हाय रे सावन बीता जाए
हाय रे सावन बीता जाए हुनाए बाल माँ सावन बीता जाए हाय रे सावन बीता जाए
आज हलाए बाल मार सावन बीता जाए हाय रे सावन बीता जाए
नमस्कार सभी दर्शकों को, आपका दोस्त राजीव कुलकर्णी आप सबको भारत अन्वेषण कार्यक्रम में स्वागत करता हुआ। आज का दिन है दिसंबर 10th 2023। आज हमारे बीच बहुत ही स्पेशल गेस्ट है डॉक्टर शिल्पा दातार, जो बेंगलुरु में रहती है, एंड शी इज़ द फाउंडर ऑफ अ कंपनी कॉल्ड स्वयं एनालिटिक्स. They deal in Vedic psychology techniques for assessing the students and also assessing the people who are trying to make their career path. चलिए, उन्होंने काफ़ी सारे हमको अपने टेक्निक्स के बारे में बताया। आपने ये वैदिक साइकोलॉजी, हाउ इट इज़ डिफरेंट फ्रॉम नॉर्मल जो साइकोलॉजी जो बेसिकली वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज़ के ऊपर जो इन्फ्लुएंस होके जो दूसरों को इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहा है, तो उनके बारे में हमको अभी तक बताया, और जो स्कूल्स में जो इम्प्लीमेंट जैसे वो लोग करते हैं इस टेक्निक को, उसके बारे में बताया। लेकिन हम हमारे दर्शकों का ये दे हैव सम क्वेश्चंस अबाउट चेकिंग कि भाई हाउ what kind of schools now are following in India, and where all you have been approved or your techniques have been approved. जैसे there are like central government schools are there, then private schools are there, then affiliated schools in different states are there. So can you tell something about that, Shilpa ji?
Sure, sure. So we are working with private schools, both in Bangalore and Karnataka as well as in Delhi. And
Okay.
it's generally high school. So we don't work with students less than 8th standard. Because as a
Okay.
psychologist, I feel that they're too young to be
Yeah.
answering a psychometric test. And there's no necessity also. So from the time they're in 8th, 9th, then we prepare them, we identify their behavioral challenges, and then give them resources to overcome them. And we also tell them what kind of yoga they should do based on their prakriti, based on their personality, and what they shouldn't do also. And we also give them Ayurvedic diet and nutrition guidelines. Because many students, we were told about, NCRT runs these helplines every year. And I think last year, once they ran the helpline, they had a whopping 74% of students calling in to find out what kind of food should I eat to stay healthy. Because that kind of information is not there in India. So
Yeah.
we said, let's include that to help these children. And we have done that.
Absolutely.
So based on their prakriti, like if you look at the Ayurvedic one, everything is based on your prakriti, on your Vata Pitta Kapha combination, everything is decided. So I worked with Ayurvedic Pandits, Vaidyas, and then they helped us to devise this whole thing. And we give them personalized charts. So the students who answer this. And it's being used by schools, high schools, both in Karnataka as well as in Delhi. And we're also partnered with Government of Karnataka on their
Wow.
Skill Connect portal. Yeah. So it's accepted by the government. So there's no certification as such, though we have done a certification accreditation with Indian Institute of Business Psychology. And my PhD from Mysore University itself is a certification. It qualifies me to practice. There's no other thing that is needed, nothing else that is needed as such. And like I said, we are partnered with Government of Karnataka. We are online on their Skill Connect portal,
Okay.
and we're working with them as well as with high schools in both in Karnataka and Delhi.
So just I want to show the audience this particular video of yours.
So first of all, thank you so much for agreeing to do this for us, Anita ji.
Thank you for conducting that pilot test here. So it was
Thank you.
actually
You're
an
most
eye-opener
welcome.
in,
Okay.
in many perspectives, and lots of aspects were there which we never thought of actually.
Okay. So what was your first impression when you saw the Swayam reports after we did the work with you?
See, actually, I was used to see the IQ test, aptitude test, and so on, but this is for the first time I found that that the personality perspective can be seen from 3 different dimensions. Because you talked about the physiological aspect and then psychological, behavior, aptitude, and then career-wise also on the basis of that. So
Yeah.
that was amazing. And I personally feel that, to be successful in life, one has to be self-aware. So if a child is self-aware and then self-conscious and he knows the right direction in which he can improve himself, then that is really going to help him. So your reports have helped the children to understand themselves well.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm so glad that it is, because the whole intention of developing Swayam, building Swayam, was to help students. Because this kind of inputs is not there anywhere in India. So we wanted to see how we can bring in this awareness in people, in students, to help them overcome their limitations and, become bigger in their mind and in their attitude. And I think we have been able to do that to a large extent, at least.
And I discussed with you also the one very disturbing fact, because I found that our children, they are very good in the logical, they are very good in the methodical, and they're passionate also. But then one thing which was pointed out in the report is that because of the lethargic attitude in their actions, so I think they are not able to do that much which they can do. So it is very important for them to know that they have potential, they have the right blend of the potential, and if they will not be using it for their own purpose, then somewhere in future it is going to they will be depending for it.
Correct.
So this report, when it was shared with the parents, even parents were also surprised and shocked to find certain things, and they were so happy that somebody has done this for their child, and they uh, and shared it with them, because they are also now able to understand the child better and they are able to guide them better.
Correct.
So
correct. In fact, our personality development reports, I'm sure you've seen that, where we have given the asanas and pranayama that students need to do to stay healthy, as well as the Ayurvedic diet and nutrition that they can follow, for them, based on their own personality, which is very specific to each child. If they can follow, that will be really wonderful for them to, overcome all these little bit, things, and to develop better focus. So I hope you, appreciated that, and I wish, and I don't know if the parents realize the value of that.
They have realized. In fact, your whole psychological assessment is based on the Panchakosh theory also.
Correct.
In fact, after that, I also started the trainings in Panchakosh theory for the teachers. We started with the teachers, and now we are conducting it for the students also on the International Yoga Day. And it is very important for them, because if the physical well-being is not taken care of, then that definitely impacts the thinking process.
Correct.
And if the thinking is not in the right direction, then that impacts every other thing in the life.
Correct.
So so I really appreciate this blend of Panchakosh and the kind of suggestions you have given to them. And
Yeah.
then another thing is that you also give them certain worksheets where they can do that self-analysis, and they can develop their own career roadmaps based on the assessment, based on their own aspirations and their own aptitudes. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. And then the follow-ups which you are doing with them,
With them. Yeah. Yeah.
that is
Correct.
also helpful.
Correct. In your opinion, why do you think it's so necessary for students in high school to, undergo all this at the relevant time in the school system itself?
I think this is the time where they feel most of the pressure and the stress also. They have the peer pressure, they have the parental pressure, they have the societal pressure, and they are actually deciding that what is right for them. And sometimes there is mismatch between their own aspirations, between the others' expectations,
Right.
and the reality.
Yeah.
So, if the child through this kind of assessment becomes self-conscious, and once he's self-conscious, I think that also helps him to be self-motivated. So he should not always be driven by the others. He
Correct.
must be able to hear his own inner drum beat, and accordingly the child can take decision. And second thing is that when this kind of assessment are helping students on one side, they are also helping parents to change their own
Kings.
some perceptions are there, some stigmas are there, some preconceived notions are there. They also try to change once they understand the whole process.
Correct.
So I think this kind of assessment is must at this stage, and this is the right stage, because
Correct.
this is the situation, this is the age where lots of dilemmas are there,
Yeah.
and lots of decision making has to be done there.
And they're very confused at this age.
Very confused. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for your wonderful and kind words, Anita ji. Such a pleasure to have spoken to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the assessments once again.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. Namaste. Thank you.
So that was a very interesting interview Dr. Shilpa Datar had, and I think दर्शकों को अभी थोड़ा काफ़ी आइडिया हो गया, not थोड़ा, कि what exactly Swayam Analytics do and what they are engaged in, what kind of work. And I find it very, very unique and very interesting because it's a beautiful technique to, get into the students. जैसे कि
Mindset.
या mindset exactly.
Mindset.
Yeah, and जैसे कि शिल्पा जी ने बताया, they don't take anybody less than 8th graders or 8 years.
Yeah, 8th. From 8th
Eighth-
onwards, 8th, 9th, 10th onwards.
Okay, so from 8th grader या 8th standard जैसे इंडिया में बोलते हैं, तो above 8th standard वो बच्चों को ये assess करते हैं. So now coming back to the career oriented professionals, for example. So what are the techniques, and is it the same way the techniques are being followed, or how it is differed from the school
Yeah,
going?
the same way the techniques are being followed, and we work in two ways over there. One is we work with organizations for recruitment during the time of recruitment, because we are able to identify, because nowadays everybody comes with very good resumes, very polished, and they've gone to all these coaching classes to, learn how to talk in an interview and all that. So it becomes very difficult for the HR or, an organization to know whether this person is really suited to a company or not.
Yes.
And one wrong hire can really make a lot of issues in a company.
That is true.
So we have worked with a few MNCs, with a few companies where they've used our test during the time of recruitment. And then we were able to tell them, who were the ones who were closest to their requirement, some that were not, and the reasons behind it. And they really appreciated that. That is one area where we work. Yeah. And then, in fact, I have a couple of companies who, don't do any recruitment without our test analysis, because they say they did one, one company, they did one for a senior level position for their India head. And then they said it was a mess. So in 3 months, the person had to leave. They had a huge mess.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, yeah.
oh no.
So then after that, they said, we are not going to touch anybody without the Swayam assessments in place. So that was
Wow.
a huge, very big achievement for us also. And then we also work with companies with employees. We assess all
Okay.
the employees because they want to know who are our high potential employees, who are going to do well, whom can we promote to a higher level, who are the ones who have capacity to take on higher level roles,
Hmm.
who are the ones, because if they are very prone for stress, if
Yeah.
they're the kind of people, who get stressed, who get very angry, upset, different kinds of situations. So then it becomes very difficult as a leader if there's a lot of issues then that comes up.
Yes.
So we identify those, and then role transition. So there are some employees who are not happy with the kind of roles they're doing. They want to try out different roles. So we will help them identify what roles in the company they can look at, or take on additional responsibilities, because now everybody is on cost saving mode. So companies want to see, what other role can I give this
Right.
person, this
Right. Right.
employee. So we help them with that. And then for the leaders, it becomes very imperative because they know the entire leadership team. After they've taken our report, we give them a kind of a bird's eye view analysis, a group analysis that we do. And then we
Mm-hmm.
tell them what are the strengths of this team, what are the weaknesses, where is it that they need training, what is it that the leader
Hmm.
can do, how they can understand. So that was very highly appreciated by a couple of companies because they knew in depth what their first level of managers were doing.
That is
And then
true.
it
Yeah.
becomes easy for them to bring in training, bring in different techniques, so to help those managers to ace their game.
Hmm.
So that's what we enable people to be better at whatever they want.
Excellent. So, by saying this, so what is like the process timing? If when you are doing this assessment, how long it takes?
Oh, the recruitment tests take again about 15-18 minutes to
Oh,
complete. That's
okay.
all. Yeah, yeah. That's all.
Okay.
And then the other one, the employee test, they take about 1 hour.
1 hour.
So, and
Okay.
then it can be done, simultaneously. We've built our own software. We have one patent, 8 copyrights, 3 trademarks. Yeah, lots
Excellent.
of IP
Excellent.
that we have built.
Very
And
nice.
then they can, take it simultaneously, 100, 200, 300 people simultaneously, they can take it. And then each of them will get their own report immediately within a couple of minutes, within a minute,
Wow.
less than a minute.
Hmm.
And then after that, we take about 4-5 days or 6 days, working days time to do this group analysis and then submit it to the company, because that is done manually by me and our team of psychologists at Swayam. So we do that, and then we do a lot of analysis, intergroup, intergroup analysis and all that, and then we submit it. And that's where, lots of discussion happen between us and the head of the institution, because they want to know so many things.
That is
And
true.
because us is a psychology driven organization, we are able to
Hmm.
give them the real time information as to what they should do. Lots of consultations happen at that point of time. And that
Hmm.
is really very highly appreciated by our clients, because they don't get this kind of personal touch, with a psychologist, to ask about what do I do with this employee? How can
Correct.
I take my team to the next level, and so on and so forth. And that is something that, they really appreciate.
So let's have a look at this video, which I think one of your
Clients, yeah.
customer testimonial.
In a fast changing world, today organizations need to be extremely agile, responsive, so that they achieve continuous, sustained growth. Swayam Analytics, which is a part of a Deshpande Startups, has developed a very unique tool and methodology based on entirely different principles to assess personality traits of talent. So this is a tool that will enable leaders to take decision about your talent, their development goals, and their progress in the coming years. I'm very happy to share that we are using this tool to ensure the coherence and convergence in achieving our mission for the future. So I recommend to everyone who is listening to me to explore this particular tool. This tool will make you understand and unleash the true potential of humans. So I compliment Dr. Datar, her team, and Swayam Analytics, bringing this very powerful and transformational tool to India and to the world. Thank you.
वेलकम बैक टू भारत अन्वेषण। आपका होस्ट राजीव कुलकर्णी फिर एक बार आपको स्वागत करता हुआ। अभी आपने एक क्लाइंट का टेस्टिमोनियल देखा कि हाउ इम्प्रेसिव दे आर विद द वर्क ऑफ स्वयं एनालिटिक्स। सो शिल्पा जी, सो वी आर ऑलमोस्ट नाउ कमिंग टू द एंड ऑफ द शो एंड रियली लिसनिंग टू यू, I wanted, let it go on and on and on, just because there are so many things. It's so interesting, to hear about the different techniques, how you train people, how you find the skills in, students, either they can be students or the fresh graduates trying to find the jobs, or there are already people who are working in an organization who wants to upgrade themselves or who wants to shift to another company and trying to test themselves through your highly qualified skill test, so through Swayam Analytics. So what is the message you want to give it to our audience?
I think the biggest message that any of us can give others, at least I want to give others, is that, be true to yourself. Because we all have something unique in us. So we need to look within ourselves to see what is that unique thing and give that out, bring that out to make a better life, to make a better society. Because that's what we've been put here on earth to do, right?
Absolutely.
To give back to society, to make it a better place to live in. And if we can do that, we can look into ourselves, find that unique thing within us, and then bring that out and give it back to society. I think that's the best thing that we as humans can.
Beautiful message, Shilpa ji. So if somebody wants to reach out to you, how can they reach out to you?
Oh, I'm all over social media. I'm available on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, on our website at swayamanalytics.com. So you can just drop me a message and I'll reach out to you. Me or my team can immediately reach out to you.
Okay, thank you so very much. दर्शकों को बताऊं कि आज हमारे बीच बहुत ही काबिलियत जो पर्सनालिटी डॉक्टर शिल्पा दत्तार जी जो है भारत अन्वेषण के साथ हमने बहुत अच्छा मतलब टाइम बिताया 1 घंटे का, जो उन्होंने हमको बताया है कि भाई उनके स्वयं एनालिटिक्स के ज़रिए कैसे असेसमेंट कर सकते हैं. दे हैव, इट्स कॉल्ड वैदिक साइकोलॉजी एंड सो इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टेक्निक्स है, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग काइंड ऑफ टेस्ट मेथड्स है जो इंसान को अपने एसेस खुद कर सकते हैं एंड देन दे कैन इम्प्रूव अपॉन देमसेल्व्स. सो बहुत अच्छा लगा. थैंक यू सो मच शिल्पा जी फॉर कमिंग ऑन द शो एंड स्पेंडिंग 1 hour ऑफ योर वैल्यूएबल टाइम. I know that it's a busy schedule for you guys, and Sunday evening is definitely everybody wants to relax. So, but thank you so very much for coming on Bharat Anveshan and sharing your Swayam Analytics, I would say, skills, techniques to our audience. It is definitely is going to help them, and we wish you all the best to Swayam Analytics in your future projects, and we continue to work with you and see how we can, Bharat Anveshan can help you to spread the word here. So with that said,
thank you.
Thank
you so much, Rajiv ji.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful talking to you, and I really don't know how 1 hour passed away, So thank you so much. Thank you very much. And thank you so much to Bharat Anveshan. I think it's a wonderful platform that you're building.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that. So with that said, next Sunday definitely tune in करिएगा. We have a rain catcher. हाँ जी, he is also from Bangalore, जो रेन को पकड़ के जो वाटर जो कंजर्व करते हैं, एंड दैट वाटर इज बीइंग रिसाइकल्ड एंड यूज्ड. सो इट विल बी एन इंटरेस्टिंग डिस्कशन विद दिस इंडिविजुअल साइंटिस्ट, मैं बोल सकता हूँ. एंड तो भूलिएगा नहीं, इसी टाइम इसी वक्त नेक्स्ट संडे, जहाँ पे भी रहिए मस्त रहिए, तंदुरुस्त रहिए और सुखी रहिए. विद दैट सेड, आपका होस्ट, आपका दोस्त, आपका आरजे राजीव कुलकर्णी एक और एपिसोड साइन ऑफ करता हुआ गुड बाय बोलना चाहता हूँ इस संडे के लिए. मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट संडे इसी टाइम में. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you so much.